Miss Georgia here. I have a paper folding project for you. Maybe two, we'll see how the time goes. What you will need for this project are, for starters, let's say 2 or 3 pieces of square paper. If you have origami paper that has a color on one side and is white or a color on the other, you can use that. If you have some like scraps of gift wrap, you can use that. We just have to make sure that the pieces are square, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. So grab some paper, a pair of scissors you might need, a glue stick, you might need that, not sure, and crayons or markers, something to add a little color, and get all your materials if you can, and we will get started. My pause button. Okay, we're back. So, what I need you to have are let's start with just one square piece of paper. This is another sample of the project we're going to do, so I'm going to put that aside in a minute. Okay, there's another little tiny one. I'm going to move it aside. So, what we want is a square piece of paper that has color on one side and either white on the other or another color on the other side. This is origami paper and it has orange on one side and green on the other. This piece of paper that I folded was bright pink on one side and kind of a dark pink on the other, and that's the kind of tree it made. So I'm going to use the origami paper to do my sample, but I do want to show you how to make a square piece of paper with color on one side, or 2 different colors, out of a regular piece of copy paper. So let's do that now, and then I'll come back to this, okay? Okay, so I'm going to pause it for just a moment. Okay, so let's say that you do not have origami paper, and what you have is a rectangle, not a square. So let's say you just have a piece of copy paper. And again, it can be recycled. It can have print on one side. It can be something from your recycle bin. But let me show you how to make a square out of a rectangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this corner up to meet that corner, make a triangle. Well, I'm wrong. What you do is you take this piece, fold it up, and make your triangle this way. Did I mention I am not an origami expert? I do the easy ones. Okay, so there you go. Can you see that triangle on there? Makes a triangle. So now you have an edge right here, and what you're going to do is turn your paper over and fold that extra edge so that it's straight, and we're going to cut that off. I just usually tear it, but you can use scissors if you want, but I like to try to do things without scissors to give myself a challenge. Okay, so I have a triangle. If you open that triangle up, you have a perfect square. I can't tell you how many times that has come in handy in my life. Okay, so now you want color on one side at least. So what color do I want my tree? Maybe something a little unusual. I don't know what color this is, but oh, it's kind of a blue-green. So I'm going to color this whole side of my paper. I'm going to pause this again so you don't have to watch me coloring the whole time. Okay, so as you can see, I decided to do more than just the blue color that I picked up. You can do a lot of colors, you can do one color, you can use a marker, but what you want is one side of your paper to have color on it. Now what I could do, I could turn it over and color the other side, but I think I'm just going to fold it with the white side as it is, just to, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. So here's what you do. You take the color side and you lay it down this way. You fold your paper back into a triangle, like that, okay? Open it up again, and you're going to see a little guideline here. It's not really a line, it's a crease, but you can pretend it's a line. And what you do is, just like when you tore your paper to make your square, you take this one side, you fold it up, and you make that line meet this line in the middle. It's sort of dark in here, so it's hard to tell. But what you want is, see where my pinky is? You want a little point right there. This would be a good way to start a paper airplane. Okay? Can you see that? It's kind of light. Alright, now we're going to turn it around. And we're going to do the same thing. I've got my crayons rolling away here. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Hold that point. Get it as close to the tip as you can. And have those two lines meet in the middle. And flatten it out just like that. Okay? Now turn it over. So you have this kind of kite shape. On the short end of your kite, we're going to do that same process again. You can kind of see the crease here where I had that folded before. So you're going to take this edge and this point and bring it up to the middle. Get that point nice at the end, just like that. Okay. Got it? And then I usually turn mine around and then do the same thing on the other side. Okay? Alright, now we're going to flip it over. There should be a little point. I always think if I put two eyes on there or two little dots on there, it would look like a bird beak or something like that. Alright, and we want to fold it over in the middle where those little points are, just like we're folding it in half. Okay? Alright, now we're going to fold this part up, but where these little lines are, we don't want them to go below here, so you kind of have to maybe try a couple of times to get it right. And fold it as straight as you can. I usually try to use this little line in the middle as a guideline. See if you can get that line real straight, and you'll know why in a minute. So I'm going to take a guess that this is correct. See that? Okay. And then you take this point and fold it down to this line here. So there's like, imagine a line going through all the way. Take that point, keep it in the middle, keep all those lines straight, and press it down. Doesn't really look like a tree, does it? But turn it over. And kind of looks like a tree in a pot. At this point, sometimes I like to take a glue stick and glue it down a little bit. And sometimes I like to let it stick out. So what you can do is, if you have another piece of paper, I'm looking for a colored piece of paper here. I had all that colored paper. Is you can glue it onto another piece of paper. And that can make a nice picture for somebody, or it can make a nice greeting card if you put it on some like heavy cardstock paper. So it sticks out a little bit. And that is, in art form, that's what's called a relief. A sculpture is three-dimensional. A relief is kind of three-dimensional. It's not quite flat, and it's not like quite three-dimensional, but it has a little shadow on there, so it's not just flat to the paper. So if you want it really flat, you can do that. You can just glue it down so it sticks. And then you can fix it any way you want. Like you could, let's see, what color do I have here? I don't know if this is brown. You can color the bottom. You could write a message on it. I wrote, "Hi, Mom." You can put some decorations on. If you celebrate Christmas, you could turn it into a Christmas tree. That's kind of cool. So there we go. I'm going to do this again with the bright colored paper so you can see it a little bit better. But like I said, you don't need origami paper to do this project. So I'm going to put this one aside. I'm going to grab I guess I'll do orange and green again. Should I make my tree orange or green? I think I'll make it orange. So the color that you want the tree part to be goes down like that. You're going to fold your triangle. Okay. I'll try not to go too fast. Once you get the hang of it, you can do these like in a second. Okay. Do the other side. Flip it over. Like that. That always meets in the middle. We're always going to use that middle line as our guide. Everything meets up at that middle line. Okay. There we go. Everything meeting in the middle. All right. I'm going to flip it over. There's our little bird beak. In fact, just because it's funny, I might put eyes on here and a little nose. Well, I'm not going to put wings on. It'll mess up my tree. Okay, so now we're going to fold this in half. Like that. Okay. And then take note where these are. We're going to bring these up so that they're just under where this edge is. And we're going to fold it. And remember, try to keep this line straight. It's all about that middle line. Otherwise you can have a tilty tree, which can also look really cool. But we're going to try to keep ours straight till we get good at it. Okay? Now what do? We take that point and we bring it down to here. Keep bumping my camera. Alright? So we're going to bend that point. Keep it in that middle. There's that middle line again. Make it flat. Turn it over. Voila. One inside out tree in a pot. Alright? Okay, so here's one I did with some fancy paper. That one's a little bit like, yeah, if you're lucky enough to have a lot of like birthday or holiday wrapping paper, you can cut squares out of it and make all these cool looking trees. So maybe I'll do one really, really fast with this one, okay? Because I did one slow and then medium slow. Now I'll do a fast one, and I'll just visit with you while I do it. So there's 1, 2. Let's see how many steps it is. 3, 4. More steps than I thought. 5. Turning it over should be a step. 6, 7, smooth. 8, 9. Ooh, I see that this got a little bent. Remember, keep it all to that middle line. 10. A paper tree in 10 steps. Easy, right? So I will bet that you can find all kinds of different ways to decorate these things. So this is the one I did this was the one I did before. Like before the video started. Okay. This is another one that I did before. This is the second to last one we did. That's the one where we drew the bird eyes on. And the one where we colored one side of the paper. I actually kind of like this because you can do as many colors as you want and then blend them all up. So have fun making paper trees. Next project is going to be paper stars. See you next time.